come join our family.
EG Tax. New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
Hi, I'm Esther Goliath, the tax lady, and our job is to save you money, and that's what we're here for. I have Christopher Fabian, Tiffany Fabian here. I'm separating the married couple because we get the best out of them, and we want to make sure we save you the most amount of money. During the week, if you have any tax questions, you can go to our website at egtax.com, type in your questions, and we will answer them. Our whole thing is to make sure that you know that at EG Tax, you're family to us. And we want to make sure that you not only know the old law, which we're doing tax returns for through April 15th, and the new law, which is phasing in right now as of January the 1st. So we want to make sure that we merge those two so you get the biggest bang for the buck. We have our website available at egtax.com. We have 33 area offices to serve you. We're open 9 to 9 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday. And in the mall, we have 3 malls.
Three malls. Boulevard Mall.
McKinley Mall and the Fashion Outlet in Niagara Falls.
And they're open during mall hours,
which
right?
is Monday through
And so if you have
Friday,
any tax questions, you can also call any of our 33 area offices. We have real people who really want to help you, and they'll answer your tax questions as well as we will.
Right, and we're going to plan for 18 as
That's
well,
what I was
besides
just gonna
doing
say.
17.
Because
change.
That's right.
I know Tim on our website is working on a spreadsheet where you can actually plug in where you were in 17 and what the answer will be in 18, which
But
is
here's
really
the
exciting.
thing, you want to make sure you modify some things that are going to be against you so that moving forward,
Right.
you get the biggest bang for the buck. One of the things we had talked about before was the employee business expenses, moving to an accountable rather than a non-accountable plan. Those are things that EG Tax wants to help you with. And we will talk to your employer as well.
You know, one thing they said too with the new changes, people's withholdings are going to change. You're going to see more money in your
Yep,
paycheck.
That's what they say.
Oh, well, that sounds really good, but is it the right thing?
That's
Because
true.
when we ran the numbers, most people are going to owe money back
Yeah.
instead of get money back.
Yeah, you know, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Let's face it, to get the tax law passed, and let's face it, it was a really big tax write-off for upper income people. You want to make sure that you get somebody who's in your corner who isn't drinking the Kool-Aid. We want to make sure that you know what's really going to happen with your situation. So, but we're so thankful that we have our roving reporter, Dominic, who's out and about in Western New York asking people tax questions, and that's what we're going to do. This show is about answering your tax questions. So we have Dominic, who's out and about, and we're going to see him right after our break with our sponsors, and we'll be right back with your questions.
I'm attorney Dennis Kitchen. Now is a good time to look at your finances and your debts. How much debt do you have right now? If you don't know, or if you don't want to know, it may be too much. Isn't it time that you talk to an attorney about a fresh start? I've been helping many people in debt over the years, and I don't charge for an initial consultation about debts. Call for a free consultation. I'm Dennis Kitchen, and I'd like to help.
Hi, this is Tiffany Fabian, and let me tell you how great it is to have an insurance agent like Nationwide's Ryan Ferraro. Ryan's 17 plus years of experience saved me money on my premium and potential claims. Have an insurance question, problem, or crisis? Ryan will work with you personally without calling an overseas customer service number. All I can say is whenever I need someone on my side, I'm glad to have Nationwide's Ryan Ferraro. For all your insurance needs, call Ryan Ferraro at 688-2199. Again, 688-2199.
Wagner Mechanical Air is a multi-service company. We're a commercial refrigeration and HVAC company. We service and install residential and commercial heating and cooling systems. We service and install for restaurants and hotels walk-in freezers, coolers, ice machines, prep tables, and beer wine coolers, just to name a few. Ice Machine Lease is now available as well. Includes all service calls and cleanings of ice machines. If interested in Ice Machine Lease or our other services, please call our offices today.
At Neutrino Auto, we have what your car needs. We provide car care and maintenance service like no other. All of our service technicians are ASC certified, so you know your car is in excellent hands. Parts, Parts, parts! And yes, did we mention we have more parts? And we even service and have parts for tractors. Cars, we sell them too. Here at Neutrino Auto, we have everything that you need to hit the pavement today. Call us today, Neutrino Auto, quality service since 1927.
Hi, everybody. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, and this is our time to do our roving reporter. So we have Dominic out and about in Western New York, and we're gonna answer a tax question.
My 21-year-old son made $6,000 working part-time while he goes to college. He wants to use the education credit, okay?
Okay. So this happens all the time, and we love children and we love parents, but unfortunately, our job, or fortunately, our job is to steer the ship in the right direction, right?
That's right.
So what happens is your teenage children, and parents, correct me if I'm wrong, they can be very mouthy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they are always telling you what you should know.
They're always right.
Well, and
Ha, ha, ha.
they are always right? But the bottom line is your child will not even owe taxes making right around $6,000 at all. So the truth is, if you give the child the right to claim themselves, which you shouldn't, the child tax credit is going to be lost and the personal exemption is going to be lost. And so the kid's going to make a little benefit, you're going to lose a lot of money.
Yeah, the education credit will be
Right.
lost, not
Right.
the child tax credit.
Right, not the child tax credit, the personal exemption.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And the worst part is there's part of the American Opportunity Tax Credit that's a refundable and a non-refundable. And so the truth is a child under the age of 24, unless they support themselves, aren't even entitled to the refundable portion. And so they're shooting themselves in their foot because the parent doesn't get the refundable portion and they're not entitled to the refundable portion.
And so what do we always say? We always say, let's sit down with Junior.
Yes.
So we got Junior here and Mom and Dad here, and I
Right.
say, all right, Junior, here's the refund you'd get. You'd get $1,000. Mom and Dad's refund would be $2,500 more if they claim you. Actually, more like $3,000.
And that always makes Junior feel better.
So then, Mom and Dad, do you think instead of losing the $3,000, you think you can give Junior $1,000 of your money?
Right.
Actually, in this question here, he only made $6,000, so there would be no tax.
No, that's
he would
true.
only get back his withholding, which he would have got back
Anyway,
anyways.
right.
So the child's getting nothing extra out of it by
That's
claiming
right.
himself.
But you know what happens is when the kid's doing it himself, he makes sure he gets the $1,000
yep.
refundable credit, which means that the kid is doing it wrong.
And then
And they sit around the student union and they all say, "Oh, I'm getting $1,000. I'm getting $1,000." Well, then make the kid happy. Parents give him $1,000. You make $3,000. The family makes an extra $2,000. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah, and I
right?
think it's really important right now is a good time to talk about the tax laws. The AOTC is for the first 4 years as long as they're in full time. And then the lifetime learning is for the next amount of time. And so there's American Opportunity Tax Credit, which is up to $2,500. And then there's lifetime, which is up to $2,000. So those are two really important
And then on the
tax
state of
credits.
New York, there's also a credit.
Right.
The
That's right.
credit on New York State is for higher education.
Higher education for the first 4 years.
Of higher
Yep.
education.
As soon as you hit master's, gone. for
So
New York State.
basically, you get a credit of maximum up to $400 or itemized deduction, whichever works
Yep.
better for you, right? So when you think about it, the credit on the federal, we'll just use credits, $2,500, $400 in New York State, that's $4,900, plus the personal exemption of $4,050. If the mom and dad are in the 10% bracket, that's another $4,405. So you're thinking about mom and dad would lose about
$3,500.
$3,500. That's a lot of money.
And then Esther, I don't know, educate me. For 2018, is there any longer a education credit on the first page, a tuition and fees deduction on the first page, an adjustment to income?
No, tuition and fees are gone.
Right, so
Tuition-
that was.
but again, we're talking about
17?
217
And 18.
and we're phasing
Planning.
into 218. 218, there's major changes and adjustments. The tuition and fees are gone.
Okay.
Okay.
What were you
So
gonna say, Chris?
I was going to say, part of the problem with parents, well, I didn't pay for the college. My son or daughter took out the student loans. Well, IRS law says we don't care who pays for
Right.
it follows the dependency. Whether mom and dad pay for it, the child paid for it by cash, there was student loans that paid for it, grandma and grandpa
Gave you
paid
the
for
money.
it.
Right.
They don't care. It's who's ever claiming that personal
As a
exemption
dependent.
as a dependent gets the
And
credit.
again, that's 2017
17,
law.
yep.
In 2018, there will be no dependency exemption. There obviously is going to be a mechanism to decide who would have been able to
Yep.
claim them if they were a dependent. This has not been adjudicated yet, how they're
And
they're going to come up with that.
Actually, the education credit is one of the big bones of contention with the IRS right now, proving it. People have to actually mail in, not the 1098-T, because we know
Billing
those
Those
are
are
wrong.
wrong, right.
They actually have to mail in itemized statements showing what they're billed for and how it
How
was
much
paid.
loans.
So
and
let's
how much-
let's reiterate. Junior, just because they have some part-time income, doesn't get taxed by mom and dad. Junior files his own return. In this situation, he would have no liability. The only refund that he would get back would be his withholding. Mom and dad, though, are furnishing over 50% of his total support. Even if they didn't pay for the education, even if it was borrowed, as long as it has to be paid back by another source other than
Right.
a grant, Mom and dad are going to qualify for the American Opportunity Tax Credit up to $2,500 on the federal, up to $400 on New York State, plus get the personal exemption. So this means about $3,400 to mom and dad, nothing to Junior. Now, if Junior made more than $3,000, why is that important on the New York State
Because
return?
he would owe a little bit
Yeah.
to New York State,
Yeah.
That's right.
possibly.
And so that means he has to file a New York State return.
Right, and so what mom and dad will see is that they're gonna get the extra $30-some hundred.
Right.
Junior's gonna end up owing a little bit to New York State, and they go,
Correct.
oh, no, we don't want Junior to owe. Mom and dad just
Are
made
gonna-
over $3,000, pay Junior's state tax bill.
Exactly.
That's right. That's
exactly.
right. And this might be a good time to say, what had, if that $6,000 was unearned income and it was investment income, that would open the child up to kiddie tax. And so that means they would possibly have to pay at the parent's tax rate if their earnings from unearned income were
That's-
over $1,050.
That is true. Kiddie tax is for unearned income, even including unemployment for a child claimed as
excess
mom and dad's.
scholarships.
Right, and
Right.
excess scholarships.
Excess scholarships.
And people don't realize that scholarships can be taxable as well. The bottom line is it can be very confusing and very cost prohibitive. So you want to make sure that when you have a child in college, that parents, before they just give over that credit to the kid, that they go ahead and work it out both ways. And quite frankly, if in the past you've given that credit to your child, amend the return
That's right.
and get the money back, because they will pay you back with interest,
Yep.
correct?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. We're going to take a short break for commercials, and we'll be back with your questions.
I'm attorney Dennis Kitchen. Now is a good time to look at your finances and your debts. How much debt do you have right now? If you don't know, or if you don't want to know, it may be too much. Isn't it time that you talk to an attorney about a fresh start? I've been helping many people in debt over the years, and I don't charge for an initial consultation about debts. Call for a free consultation. I'm Dennis Kitchen, and I'd like to help.
Hi, this is Tiffany Fabian, and let me tell you how great it is to have an insurance agent like Nationwide's Ryan Ferraro. Ryan's 17 plus years of experience saved me money on my premium and potential claims. Have an insurance question, problem, or crisis? Ryan will work with you personally without calling an overseas customer service number. All I can say is whenever I need someone on my side, I'm glad to have Nationwide's Ryan Ferraro. For all your insurance needs, call Ryan Ferraro at 688-2199. Again, 688-2199.
Wagner Mechanical Air is a multi-service company. We're a commercial refrigeration and HVAC company. We service and install residential and commercial heating and cooling systems. We service and install for restaurants and hotels walk-in freezers, coolers, ice machines, prep tables, and beer wine coolers, just to name a few. Ice Machine Lease is now available as well. Includes all service calls and cleanings of ice machines. If interested in Ice Machine Lease or our other services, please call our offices today.
At Neutrino Auto, we have what your car needs. We provide car care and maintenance service like no other. All of our service technicians are ASC certified, so you know your car is in excellent hands. Parts, parts, parts! And yes, did we mention we have more parts? And we even service and have parts for tractors. Cars, we sell them too. Here at Neutrino Auto, we have everything that you need to hit the pavement today. Call us today. Neutrino Auto, quality service since 1927.
I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady for EG Tax, and we're talking taxes, and we're talking about questions. We have our roving reporter, Dominic, who's out in the malls and out of Western New York, and he's got people with tax questions. And so take it away, Dominic.
Hey, it's Dominic for the EG Tax Show in the McKinley Mall, and what's your name?
Brian Andel from the Made in America store.
And Brian, what's your question for Esther?
My mom gave me some stock and I was looking at selling it. What should I do?
What do you think, Esther?
Okay. So there's nothing wrong with selling the stock. The question is what the tax consequences are going to be, right?
Oh.
I mean, obviously we can sell all kinds of things. The bottom line is not all of us like to pay taxes. So the important thing is to find out, how did mom get the stock? What was the value of the stock? Because it can be a substantial capital gain.
Yeah, because I think the big word is gave, because if you inherit it, you get the stepped up basis. If somebody gave it to you, it goes back to that original basis.
Right. So let's work out the scenario. Let's just say that in our situation, the person asking the question, the stock was actually given to them. What is it when they're selling the stock that becomes their cost basis?
Whatever the person who gifted it to them, whatever their basis was.
Whatever they
plus
paid for it,
any
plus.
reinvested dividends in the
Capital
meantime.
gain.
So let's say that he got this, or the person that asked the question got this from a relative who had inherited it.
Yep.
If the relative had inherited it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that basis go to them?
Oh, you were stumping the stump.
No, because how it was worded. If person A inherited it from person B, person A has the cost basis of when person B died.
Right.
So if person A then gifted it to person C, it still stays the cost basis of person A.
The inherited
Okay.
one?
Yes.
The inherited one.
Yes.
All right, so they would get the stepped up basis.
No.
They would not get the
They
stepped up.
no, they get the basis of what it was. The basis was of the person who gifted it to them.
Right,
But
but
if
if it was
person
the,
A
but if
died-
But if it was the stepped up basis, they'd get the stepped up
What?
basis.
Yeah, because whatever person's A's basis
Right.
was becomes
So-
person
so
C's
if-
basis.
If
you guys
person
would
B died
been listening.
and A got the stepped up basis, they would get the stepped up basis.
Person C gets person's A basis, which is the stepped up basis from
And
person
make sure you
Right,
just
and
tell
so,
us.
okay, so what we're saying here is that you gotta find out, when it's a gift, how much did the person that's gifting it to you pay for, or what was their basis, because their basis
what was
becomes
their
your
basis.
basis.
Correct.
What
Right?
was their
Yep.
basis is the key.
Right. So if you sell it for 3,000 and they paid 2,000, you have $1,000 gain, right?
Right.
Correct.
Correct.
Right?
And so
And-
they might want
and-
to look at selling some loser stocks if
Well,
they have any.
not necessarily, because now the next question is, what's the tax bracket of the person selling the
Yeah,
stock?
because if they're in
Right?
the 15% tax bracket, it's 0%.
Right, so if they're in the 15% bracket or lower in 2017, they pay zero taxes. So, I mean, you wouldn't have this big consternation. Then the other thing is you'd have to ask is, what's the other income that person has? Let's say they have the $1,000 gain, but they have
Right.
very little other sources of income.
Right.
Maybe Social Security. None of it's going to be taxable.
Right.
So you have to look at the whole thing in context.
Yep,
Right?
absolutely. And I think this leads back to the fact, if it was a large taxable situation, it would be really important, whoever has stock, to keep track of the basis and make sure you know what your basis is and do your due diligence and do your homework.
Well, this is especially true with parents wanting to gift houses to children.
Right.
Right? What I always suggest is that they do the life estate. Because in that case, if a parent wants to gift the house to the child and they retain a life estate, then upon their death, the parent's death, the child would get the stepped up basis, which would mean the kid wouldn't pay any taxes at all. And the ownership, even though it's technically in the life estate, is still retained by mom or dad. And so then they still get the property taxes at their rate and everything, and they get all the benefits of it. The important thing is, if you are someone who wants to gift assets to your family members or your children or whomever, you want to make sure that you give that information of what you paid for it or what your basis is to the person that you gifted the asset to, because it means a lot. Eventually, that asset's going to be sold, and that person, if you don't give them that information, is going to end up paying a lot of taxes that maybe they don't have to pay.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And I think that this ties back to what I had said before. Say there is a large capital gain. Say when they sold the stock and they sell $20,000, there's a $10,000 gain. I know Chris has a lot of people that'll call him up with their brokers and you tax plan. So if you have losers in your portfolio, it's a really good idea to now look at your portfolio and see if there's any losers, because that would sop up the gain.
Again, right. If you're somebody that has a tax consequence and you do have large gainers, you want to offset those gainers with losers if you can, and that would be under the behest of yourself, the stockbroker, and the taxpayer. You want to make sure you put everything together. You would get a dollar for dollar deduction if you have losers against gainers, right?
Right.
Plus $3,000.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that's the important thing that you want to make sure that you do. I guess that if there's a theme that we have at this show
Plan.
is tax plan.
Right.
Yeah, and then also what Esther said, if there's, I have a client of mine, a story is always a good thing, and his parents gave him a house, and then they decided to sell the house and downsize. Well, he got a 1099 at the end of the year because his parents had sold him the house, and gave him the house, and his name was on the house. And come tax time, he was like, wah, wah. And then also, he lived in a different state. So he had to worry about paying tax for the other state because they lived in a different state. So it opens up this big can of worms. So really, I think it's always good to
But you know,
consult.
something I think about, had he lived in that house with his parents, then he would have been able to take advantage of the exclusion
5
that he
years.
lived in it 2 out of the last 5 years, and the gain up to $250,000 if he was single, $500,000 would be tax-free, which they kept in the law. They were going to change that, but they kept it in the
That's a
law,
really
so
good
that's
point.
still, so if you're doing tax planning with the sale of personal residence, that's something important for you
Yep,
to know.
That's a really good point. Go
Okay.
move in that house.
So the bottom line is, if you're gifting things to your children, make sure you let them know. Don't just give it to them and then say, oh, well, let the chips fall where they may, because at some point in time, if you're not here and you gifted them the asset, they won't know what you paid for it. If they don't know what you paid for it, what is their basis?
Zero.
Zero. So the whole thing's going to be taxable. So if you're going to be benevolent and give things to your kids, let them know as soon as possible what your basis is so that there is no tax gain. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 33 area offices to serve you. We're going to break for some commercial breaks, and we'll be right back.
I'm attorney Dennis Kitchen. Now is a good time to look at your finances and your debts. How much debt do you have right now? If you don't know, or if you don't want to know, it may be too much. Isn't it time that you talk to an attorney about a fresh start? I've been helping many people in debt over the years, and I don't charge for an initial consultation about debts. Call for a free consultation. I'm Dennis Kitchen, and I'd like to help.
Hi, this is Tiffany Fabian, and let me tell you how great it is to have an insurance agent like Nationwide's Ryan Ferraro. Ryan's 17 plus years of experience saved me money on my premium and potential claims. Have an insurance question, problem, or crisis? Ryan will work with you personally without calling an overseas customer service number. All I can say is whenever I need someone on my side, I'm glad to have Nationwide's Ryan Ferraro. For all your insurance needs, call Ryan Ferraro at 688-2199. Again, 688-2199.
Wagner Mechanical Air is a multi-service company. We're a commercial refrigeration and HVAC company. We service and install residential and commercial heating and cooling systems. We service and install for restaurants and hotels walk-in freezers, coolers, ice machines, prep tables, and beer wine coolers, just to name a few. Ice Machine Lease is now available as well. Includes all service calls and cleanings of ice machines. If interested in Ice Machine Lease or our other services, please call our offices today.
At Neutrino Auto, we have what your car needs. We provide car care and maintenance service like no other. All of our service technicians are ASC certified, so you know your car is in excellent hands. Parts, 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 and yes, did we mention we have more parts? And we even service and have parts for tractors. Cars, we sell them too. Here at New Torino Auto, we have everything that you need to hit the pavement today. Call us today, New Torino Auto, quality service since 1927.
Hi, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. We hope when you're thinking about getting your taxes prepared that you will think about EG Tax. If you've watched our show, you can see how we care and how complicated taxes are. I mean, if you do this, this can happen. Part of what we want to do is make sure that you understand that to us, your family, and your taxes are important to us. We have 33 area offices that are open 9 to 9 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday, and on our 3 mall locations, we're open during mall hours on Sunday.
Yep, and 9 to 9, yep.
And if you have questions, you can go to our website, Ask the Tax Lady, email me, I'll answer you back. You can go to our app at EG Tax Service, and you can download it and ask questions that way. You can also call any of our offices.
Yep.
And we got real people there.
And our ranging reporter asked questions today about, should I let my child claim the college credit or should I claim it? And then
generally it's mom and dad
right.
that should claim it.
And then somebody had given somebody stock. Should he worry about when he sells it? And sure, that enters a whole lot of things.
Make sure that
what
if you're
tax bracket are
gifting,
you in?
let the person know that got the gift how much you paid for it or how you got it, so that the correct basis can be given to that stock. That's what's so important.
And then I think you said really importantly is find out what tax bracket you're in, because if you're in the 0%, if you're in the 15% or less tax bracket, you pay 0%.
Like when they were pushing the tax bill, they were talking about $24,000. Nobody's going to pay taxes. It was the case if you were a senior before, under the old law, with the personal exemption, the extra standard deduction for being over 65, and the standard deduction, you didn't pay taxes till it got to be 24 before. You know, you got to really watch the politicians, and you got to watch what the tax law says. So you got to make sure that you don't just believe something. You want to make sure that if you can take advantage of a tax write-off by just modifying the way you're handling something, you want to make sure you do that because you don't want to overpay. Remember, we're doing 2015 taxes, 17 taxes with 2017 tax law, but 2018 is also while we're
Already
doing the
started.
taxes. So we want to make sure that we give you the best information possible. So until next week, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, with Christopher Fabian, Tiffany Fabian. We're from EG Tax. Give us a call if you need the very best tax help. Until next week, I'm Esther Golias.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
Ever order anything online and get so excited until it comes in? But then you realize it's the wrong size, the wrong color, or not even what you ordered. Well, doing your taxes with online software will give you the same result, but instead of dealing with customer service, you have to deal with the IRS. Don't let this happen to you. Let EG Tax deliver the most affordable and accurate tax return for you this year. Come join our family.
EG